Hello, Tamara here. Nice of you to join me. And a very warm welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of the Sea of Dreams tutorial that I have been doing recently. And in this tutorial we are looking at making up the pages. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Now I've cut out all my pieces ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll give you all the measurements of a page, and then we'll make that up and then we'll go on to the next one. The reason being is because of the way this album is, it's a bit tricky to put together. So what we need to do is we need to do it in a certain order, if that makes any sense. It will make more sense as we start doing it. So we're actually going to start with pages 7 and 8. These measurements are going to be for page 1 and page 8. I only need one base page because we're going to use the front side and obviously the back side of that page as well. So we only need the one piece of sheet of card for that. So the base page is 8 by 8 inches. You'll also need 4 of the this measurement, and this is going to be 4 by 8. Okay, you need 4 of those, and then what you'll need to do with that is, no, we'll do that in a second. So yeah, so this is 4 by 8, and you'll need 4, okay, of those. You'll also need 2 sheets of 4 by 4 cardstock, and these are going to be your finger tabs, so maybe write that down and then you'll know what they are. And that's for your page 1. Just leave that at those because we will sort those out in a moment. So that was your page 1. So coming on to page 2, and you'll need these measurements here. You will need your acetate at 8 by 8.5. You'll also need another piece of card that measures 8 by 8, and then you'll need another piece that's going to measure 2 by 8. Okay, so that's our measurements there. So working on page 7. Okay, now I'm not going to cut this because I've already done it, but to get the diagonal, all I did was use my trimmer and I lined up the corner into my gully on my trimmer, and then just gently moved it round until this corner measures up with the gully like so, and then you can cut, and then that will give you your 2 diagonal pieces for your pages. Okay, but as I've already cut one in true Blue Peter style, I've already done one already. So this is what you are left with. Okay, once you've cut your 8 by 8 down, you need to then score along one long edge at 1/2 inch. Okay, turn it round and score the other long edge again at 1/2 inch as well. Okay, so you've scored those. Once you've done that, we need to miter the corner. So we just miter that corner off like so. Then we can fold our score lines over. So 1 and 2, and as you can see, you're left with these like little ear bits. All I do is miter them down to meet the corners, so that they are level with that edge. Okay, so that's your one part done. Now bringing in your acetate, you've cut it at 8 by 8.5. So with the 8.5 measurement running down the side of your trimmer, you're going to score along that short edge at 8 that's at 8 inches. You're going to score that at 1/2 inch, okay, like so, and then that again is going to become your glue tab, okay. So that then is your acetate sleeve sort of done. So that's them ones. This is page 2 we're working on. So your next piece of card that you need is your 2 by 8 inches. So with your 2-inch measurement down the side of your trimmer, you're going to score this piece of card at 1 inches, okay. Fold that over. Now if you're using construction tape, you need to secure your edges here. If I can find my construction tape. Again, you don't need an awful lot, just enough to close that edge off, and again on this side to close that edge off there, like so. And then that is then your pocket that is going to fit your acetate sleeve into, like so, okay. So it holds that into place. If you're not using construction tape, then these are the measurements you will need. There we go. So if you're not using construction tape, this is what you'll need to do. You'll need to cut this bottom piece at 2 by 9, okay. With the long 9-inch measurement down the side of your trimmer, we're going to score at 1/2 inch on one short side, 180 degrees, and score on the other short side. Turn it 90 degrees, and we're going to score this right down the middle. So we're going to score this at 1 inch, okay, like so. Then fold all your score lines over, and then what we'll do is, once we've folded them over, we're left with this edge here. Now we don't want these 2 glue tabs there, so what I'm going to do is we're going to miter one corner, turn it around, miter the other corner. So we've got kind of like something like that. Then we're going to cut all the way down to that scored line in the middle, and we're going to just chop that rectangular piece out. Rectangular piece out. And do the same on the other side, like so. And then that becomes your glue tab. So then what you do is you can just fold that over, and then fold this one over, and then that is your pocket that you're going to put your acetate into, and that's without using construction tape. So these glue tabs will get glued on the back, okay. So those are the measurements if you're not using your construction tape. So putting them together, we're going to work on page 7 first. Now, with this acetate sleeve, we are going to make it go over our page so that it fits onto the back side of our page. So getting your double-sided tape, you need to put your tape onto the valley fold side of your acetate sleeve. Make sure you burnish that down good. Take it off, take the backing off, and then getting your page, line it up. So make sure that it's lined up with the edges, okay, like so. And then hold it down in place, and then very gently start to inch that acetate window over. Now another thing that you could do is just to miter the corners here of your acetate if you want to. When we lift this off, we haven't got the acetate showing through on this side. So to put the diagonal pocket on, we're going to put the double-sided tape onto the mountain side fold of the glue tab, okay? And again, get it as near to that scored edge as you can, because that's the edge that's going to kind of lift up first if you've got some weight inside there. So burnish that down. I'm going to take one side off first and just make sure I get this right. No, I'm not. I'm going to take both off. Okay. Then working from the corner, once you get that corner kind of all squared, the rest will fall into place. Just takes a little bit of time just to line everything up like so, and push that down. Okay, so that's your pocket in place. Now we'll just lift at the moment because we haven't got that into situ as yet. I'm not going to close this off onto our page just yet, because what we need to do now is we need to put it into our book. So to attach it, we just need to put our double-sided tape on one side of our hinge, okay, like so. Burnish that down and take that backing off. Now I'm going to put a little tiny bit of glue on here as well, if it will. There we go. And just along the top there, just a tiny bit, like so. Then getting my paper on my page, we're going to just line it up with our fold and make sure it's level at the bottom and at the top if you can, and then burnish that down, okay, like so. So that's one page near enough stuck in. So now we can work on page 2. Sorry, page 8 this will be, wouldn't it? So working on page 8, I'm just going to put this down because I just don't need that just for the moment, flapping about. So working on page 8, we need our scoreboard out again, and I could use just a small, let me just get my small scoreboard out. Might be a bit better than keeping to lifting that one in and out all the time. Let me just get my little tool. Okay, so for your page 2, or page 8, sorry, not page 2, page 8, get it right. So page 8, we need our 4 by 8 flaps that we've got 4 of. Okay, so first of all we're going to score this, and I do need my big trimmer for this. No, I don't. We're going to score this at 1/2 inch. Okay, so score that at 1/2, fold that 1/2 over, and then we're going to measure from our folded line to 4. Okay, fold that over, and then what happens is you've got a tiny bit showing from the other side like that, and that's where we're going to put the finger hold in. So we need to do 4 of those like that. So and then what we do, I did forget to say which way we folded them, didn't I? I just kind of did it. So fold that over, and then what we do now, 4, and then where I folded the 1/2 inch one up, I'm going to fold the 4 inch one down. Okay, so it looks like that. So you've got this exposed edge, and that's on all 4 of them. And then that goes that way. So that's then our 4. So that I can put on there. Okay, once you've got the 4 done, we're going to put them onto our page. Now, it's up to you. You can either have this coming over, like the edge like so, and then this one here coming over, because we've got enough space there to do that, and then you'll only have one side here that's open. So you could do that if you wanted to. I might do it because I can, which would be fine, and then this one will just be the one that's on this hinge, and it will help strengthen this hinge. So for 2 of your flaps, you need to put your double-sided tape onto the valley fold side, and 2 of them you need to do on the mountain fold side. So I'll do these 2. 1, 2. We'll put these ones on first. So the valley fold ones we'll put on first. Now I'm going to line up the bottom of the flap with the bottom of the page, and hopefully we'll get that right. There we go, I think that's about right. Fold that over when you're happy. Okay, next one. Again, let's do the same. That's why I didn't push it down. There we are. Fold it over, and then make sure that they're quite level on both sides. So that's 2, and then we go for the other side. So taking off the the mountain fold sides, these you can line up with the edge here of your hinge. Okay, making sure that they line up really in the middle there. That would be so much better if they just lined up there. Just going to pull that over, line up at the top. There we are. Burnish that down, and then that would fold over like so, and they line up nicely here in the centre. Take the next one off, and then do the same. Make sure they line up, because you want them to look quite uniformed if you can. They should do, because they are all the same. There we are. Push them down, and then that is near enough that page done. So just to keep them in place for the moment, I'm going to just put these little bulldog clips on there just to keep them in place, otherwise they flap about everywhere and then they get bent, and we don't want that. So keep them in place like so. So that is one page near enough done. So we've done so we've worked on page 7 and 8. You're going to do exactly the same with 1 and 2. Okay, to add the finger pulls on your page 8 and page 1, that's when these 4x4 squares come in handy. So all we're going to do is you're just going to use your corner rounding tool. These ones are from Craftella, and they just give a really nice finish to the corners. So what I tend to do then is I just then cut down to say 1 inch, so I'm left with something like that, and then I'll cut another one and then cut this down again. Okay, and that's 2, and then you can cut this down again. So you probably only need the 1, but I said to do 2 just to be safe. Cut that down again, and then you're left with a small piece. But if you didn't want to do the small piece, you could then use your second piece here. So that's your 4 pieces done. Now, as I've got some pencil on mine, I'm just going to rub that off quickly. There we go, like so. And then add my double-sided tape. Now again, you could add double-sided tape or you could use your glue, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to put my double-sided tape just below where that detailed corner is. If I show you up on there like so, you can see it's just below that detailed corner. So take your backing off, and then we're going to position it. I might just pull this, I'll do it on this one, and you could then see. So your tag goes on, your finger hold goes underneath, and you just need to line it up, I think. I'm trying to work out an easier way to show you. Okay, it might be like that. So, because this is the same size, I'm just trying to get it so that it's level. There we go. And then burnish that down, and then that's then is your little finger pull on there like so. If you can see that. There's the page part, the flap, and then your finger pull there. So go ahead and do that with all of your pieces. So that's then your finger pulls put onto that, your page 8. And again, you'll do that with your page 1 as well. Okay, now coming back to our page 8 and page 1. So we need magnets really to keep the top bit closed and also the bottom bit. So let me just get my magnets. So these ones are my, I think these are 10mm. Let's just have a look. They are 15mm, in width, but they're probably about 1 millimeter thick. So they work brilliantly for this type of album. So using some tape, I'm going to tape the top one down like so. Okay. Getting the tape, and we are going to put the sticky side facing up, and we're just going to put it onto the back of that piece of paper, that flap. Let it do its thing, find its natural force, and we can just push that over, and then that will stick down to the bottom page like so. There we are. And then you've got your magnetic closure. So do that on all 4 or all 3 of your pages, and once you've done that, you can then we're going to work on to the next page. So pretend these have all got their magnets on, okay, and bring in your magnets again on my previous one. So yes, so I've just, that would be much better. Pushed it over like so, push that down. Had a bit sticking up there. There we go. So then that is that one closed. So you would put your magnets more to the right hand side on your top magnets, and more to the left hand side on your bottom magnets. Okay, so once you've gone ahead and done all of that, there we go. And so all my magnets are now on my flaps, and they just snap down, closed like so. Okay, so moving on to page, what are we, page 6 in our book. So page 6 and page 3 will be the same. So you'll need these measurements. Your base page is going to be 8 by 8. Your pocket is going to be 4 by 8. Your short flap is going to be 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and your long flap will be 6 1/2 by 8 1/2. So there's my base, because we're going to work on our base. Now if I'm going to put my pocket on with construction tape. Now if you haven't got the construction tape and you're using just using your cardstock, you would make this 8-inch measurement here into 9, and you will then score on 3 sides, so 1 long side and 2 short sides. Fold them over, and then you would miter these corners off, okay, and then that then would become your pocket, okay, because you would put your double-sided tape along this glue tab and along the 2 glue tabs at the side, okay, and then you would stick it to the front of your pocket like so. But because I'm using the construction tape method, it does cut down on a lot of your bulk of your album, which allows you then to do more flips and flaps and things like that. So I've taken off my double-sided tape, and this pocket is going onto the bottom of my page. So I'm just going to line up the corner of my page with the corner of my pocket, and as it's black it is very difficult to see, but there we go, we've got there in the end. Okay, burnish that down, and then using your construction tape, I'm just going to take that bit off because that's got something on it. And this one's probably a bit big, but you just need to put it on onto your pocket, like so. I'm going to chop that bit off. Okay. And then we're going to bring it round to the other side of the page, like so. And then do the same with the other side. Let's cut as much off this time. Using your hand, push your page, so you're pushing all of the air out of your pocket. So push it, and then set your your construction tape down onto one side of your page. Turn it over. Keep pushing that air out, because you don't want to have it a bubble in your pocket. And then just bring that construction tape round. Okay, and then you should have a nice flat pocket. You will get some bowing in that, but that's natural. Doing it that way, you don't end up with too much of a gaping pocket, like so. Coming on to then your flaps. So the short flap, your measurements are going to be 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and your long flap measurement is going to be 6 1/2 by 8 1/2. So you'll need in your scoreboard again for this, because we need to do some scores. So we need to score it with the short edge butted up against our measurement guide. We need to score it at 1/2 inch. You need then to fold that flap bit over, like so. So you folded that over, and then we're going to score at 4 inches. Okay, bring that down, fold that over, and then that gives you then a nice flap, okay, to work with. Need to do the same on your long flap. So 1/2 inch score down the short end, the short measurement, fold that over, butt that bit up against your measurement guide, and then again score at 4. Okay, fold that over, and then that creates another flap. Now if you find that this edge here is protruding a little bit or is getting stuck, you just need to trim off about 1/8 of an inch off that that side there, just so that it helps it to keep it closed. So that's your 2 flaps. So coming on to the tags, all I'm going to do with the tags is I'm just going to decorate those edges. So I'm just going to do the top 2 with my corner rounding punch, like so, and then that's them done. So let's put it all together. So we've put our pocket on, and move them over there. We can go ahead and start to assemble. We need to put our double-sided tape. Now you can either have it so that it is attached to the front page, or you can have it where it goes round to the back. I'm actually going to have it attached to this page on this one, but I am going to have the other flap attached to the underside of this page. For this, you put your double-sided tape onto the mountain side fold of your glue tab, burnish that down, and then getting into place, I'm going to work off the bottom here of my pocket and just line up that edge like so. When you're happy, burnish that down, and then that is one of the flaps done. And then when we put our tag in, again, that goes through the pocket, and then that's going to keep that flap closed. Now this page is a little bit more trickier. Well, it's not really. I'm going to go it so it's. I'm going to have it so it's right down to the bottom of that pocket. I just need to push, burnish that down a bit. That wasn't sticking properly. So for this one, we need to put the glue tab onto the valley side fold of our glue tab. Burnish that down very quickly. Okay, and then I'm going to just position my page so that it is where I want it. Bring that over. Okay. There we are. And then that's your second flap done. So when we come to put this in, because we're going to put this page is going to hide the extendable hinge. So it will go on like so. So page 5 is this page here. So what we're going to need to do now is actually attach page 6 into our book. Okay, so we're going to use our double-sided tape, and it's going to go onto the right hand side of our hinge. Okay, so again, don't put it right to the bottom of that hinge near where you've scored it, because you don't want to see any of that double-sided tape. Give that a good press down. Take that off. Okay, and it comes this way. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just butt my page up to that scored line of the hinge, and I'm just going to very carefully inch that over so that it starts to stick. Okay, that's it, and then that's your page attached. So page 5, as I say, page 5 and page 4 are the same. So once we've done this, we've actually then put all our pages together. So taking out our pieces, this is the locking photo mat, and that's the photo mat that goes in the middle. So for our measurement, you'll need 2 8x8. One of them is a locking photo mat that goes inside, and one of them is just a photo mat that goes actually inside the flaps. Okay, you'll also need 2 base flaps, and these are going to measure 4.5 by 8, and you'll need to score along one long edge at 1/2 inch on both of those flaps. Okay, you'll need 2 front flaps, and you'll need to do these measurements at 3.5 by 9 1/8. And you're going to score these at 1/2 inch on both short sides. Okay, both short edges is your score. So putting them all together, so the front flaps will go over your base pockets, your base flaps, like so. Okay, because they're like mirror image each other. Now you can choose. I'm actually going to have mine so it's literally on the edge here, so that I've got more of an edge this side than I have in the middle. Now I want that to happen because I want to be able to have something to grab onto to pull out my locking mechanism. So that's why I'm going to sort of have it that way. But you could have it like that if you wanted, and just put maybe a finger tab on this side so that you pull it out. That would be a nice idea as well. So yes, so you could do that. So have a play around with your pieces, and you might see something in what we've doing that I've not seen and come up with something different. So yeah, that would be nice. Also, if you do, let me know. So we need to think about putting these together. Now I'm going to put the front flaps onto the base flaps first. So to do that, I'm going to put my double-sided tape on the valley fold side of those glue tabs. Like so. Like so. And then while I've got my double-sided out, I'm going to put that onto the mounting side fold of the glue tabs on your base flaps. Okay, like so. One. And two. Okay. Burnish them all down, not as vigorously as that. Okay. Now you will notice that you've got this measurement is a bit longer than this. That's just to allow for a bit of wiggle room. So how I do it now, lay out your pieces. Now, as I said, it's a mirror image, so you'd want your two outer flaps. Sorry, not your two out. Your two glue tabs facing onto the outer edge of your workspace. So both are, so one on the left and one on the right. Okay. I'm going to work with them this way so that they are they're facing up. With your front flaps, place them underneath, and you can then start to have a little bit of a wiggle room of where you want them to be. So they ideally want to be roughly in the center of your so where this ends and this one begins, where the scored line is try and get it at equal distance. So let me take my double-sided tape off. Do that first. 1, 2. And we can then start to play around. So I'll stick down one side first and then the other. Now I'm going to have it so that I've got no gap in between this side and where that ends. So I'll just push them down. When you're happy, one side first, turn it round if you're right-handed like me, push all the air out so you get a nice straight fix, and then turn that one over as well. Now, as I say, you will get a little bit of a bow, but not as much as if you didn't do that. So that's one part done. So coming on to the next, double check that you've got it the right way. So that goes there, and that one's that side, and again get it so that you're nice and even at the bottom and level, and push one side over, turn it round, push the air out, and then push that extra bit of that glue tab over as well. So that then is your two front flaps. So to attach them, we're just going to attach them straight onto the back of this piece of your page. So with this edge here, with this scored edge, I'm going to put it up to maybe about 1/8 of an inch, maybe not, maybe right up to, I think I'm going to do it right up to that scored line. Okay, like so. So I'm just working on one from one corner and then bringing it down to where I think it should be, and then burnishing that in place like so. And then do the same with this one. And this one might be a little bit, I'm going to just work it this way and work on this from this corner like so. Pinch it down so that I can see what I'm doing, and then push down, hoping I've got that right. I'm a little bit over. There we go. I didn't burnish it down, so that was handy, wasn't it? Is that better? That's better. So then burnish that down, and then you've got that in place. And then your photo mat. So your photo mat goes inside, and then your locking photo mat, that goes in between those two panels. Now what you could do, if you're finding it a bit difficult to get one in, what you could do is just take off 1/8 of an inch off your locking photo mat. So then that photo mat then is held, that's keeping those flaps inside held shut. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's our 4 pages done. So I'm not going to go ahead and do the same. I'm not going to make the other ones up. I'll do them off camera and let you do that. So if you want to then rewind back to the beginning, you could then work out and do your other 4 pages. Because as I say, they're exactly the same. Thanks again for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Part 3 will be coming up very shortly, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss a thing. Don't forget to like and comment on this video as well, especially like, because the more people that like the video, the more chance I have of YouTube showing it to other people. Don't forget, I also have social media links, and they are all linked in the description box as always down below. And come join us on my group, Memories Papers Art. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you again very, very soon.